Madison, Wisconsin, with the second-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions in town to take on the 14th-ranked Badgers. Penn State, one of just 2 unbeatens left in the nation, but they have had some hard times here in the city of Madison in recent years. They are at 10-0 midway through the Big Ten regular season. Wisconsin still in the chase for the regular season championship. Welcome to Madison. Beth Mullins along with Kathy Nelson, the former head coach at the University of Oregon. And Kathy, tremendous young talent all across the Big Ten Conference. And we'll start out right here with Brittany Dogner, perhaps the biggest recruit ever in the history of Wisconsin volleyball.
Well, Pete Waite was sure happy when he got Dogner to sign on the dotted line. And I'll tell you what, sometimes coaches get nervous about playing freshmen. They hit the wall this time of the year. It's a long collegiate season, but Dogner's not hitting the wall. She's just hitting stride. Coming off her best match of her career in their win at Iowa. She tied her career high in kills, set new career highs in digs and block assists. So she's the real deal.
And as good as she has been, 5 kills per match in Big Ten play, she's running a distant second right now in Rookie of the Year honors to Megan Hodge of Penn State.
Megan Hodge was the Gatorade National High School Player of the Year, the most heralded recruit, and she came to Penn State. She has already been named Big Ten Player of the Week twice. So talk about making an immediate impact on her team. She's leading the Big Ten in points. Right now, I think she's the leading candidate not only for Big Ten Freshman of the Year, but possibly for National Freshman of the Year.
And certainly a candidate for All-American honors as well. Let's listen in now as we meet the starting lineup for Penn State.
I'm Cassie Salyer, senior opposite from Denver, Colorado.
Hi, I'm Nicole Fawcett. I'm a sophomore outside hitter from Zanesfield, Ohio.
Megan Hodge, freshman outside hitter from Durham, North Carolina.
Hi, I'm Melissa Walbridge, a junior middle blocker from Yardley, Pennsylvania.
Hi, I'm Chris Armato, a sophomore middle hitter from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Hi, I'm Alicia Glass, a freshman setter from Leland, Michigan.
Hi, I'm Roberta Holhouse, sophomore libero from Joplin, Maryland.
And Russ Rose in his 28th season at Penn State. Over 800 career wins. He has the best win percentage of any active coach in the nation. And now here is the starting lineup for Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm Audra Jeffers, a sophomore right side hitter from Heartland, Wisconsin. I'm a black belt in karate. Just kidding, I'm not.
Hi, I'm Brittany Dogner, freshman outside hitter from Waupun, Wisconsin, and my favorite TV show is Grey's Anatomy.
Hi, I'm Marie Carlini from LaSalle, Ontario, Canada. I'm a left side hitter, and I'm going to be Snow White for Halloween.
Hi, I'm Amy Blado. I'm senior middle blocker from Monument, Colorado, and I paint my fingernails black before every home game.
I'm Taylor Reinecke. I'm a 6'3" junior middle blocker from Naperville, Illinois.
Hi, my name's Jackie Simpson. I'm a junior setter from Downers Grove, Illinois, and I got stung by a stingray in San Diego.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn Lack. I'm a libero from Salem, Wisconsin, and I'm going to be a Fanta girl for Halloween.
And there is Pete Waite in his 8th season at Wisconsin, closing in on 200 wins here in Madison. He's got over 450 for a career which has spanned over 2 decades as a head coach. And the block is up for Penn State to start things off in the blue jerseys. Wisconsin in the white. And Wisconsin jumps on top early, and we already get a look at how significant things will be at the net. This match, when they met earlier in the season in State College, dominated by Penn State and their block in particular.
It's 2 of the best blocking teams in the country, but not that night. That night, Penn State was the best blocking team, definitely on the floor. Wisconsin got a little bit on their heels, so they need to come out really aggressive tonight at the net and let Penn State know that they're not going to take that. They can go right with them at the net.
Alicia Glass to Megan Hodge. Freshman to freshman, and Hodge with the off-speed kill for Penn State.
Sometimes it's not the balls that you hit hard that necessarily get you the kills. It's the balls that you sort of miss hit, and that was a perfect miss hit for Hodge. It went right to the middle of the floor. Nobody on Wisconsin at least was able to get that.
Jackie Simpson, the back set for Blado, blocked by Hodge. Simpson goes the other way to Maria Carlini, blocked again by Penn State. They'll go back to Carlini. Full house there defensively. And Hodge puts it into the net.
That's a very difficult ball to attack. Hodge probably made just a strategic error. That's probably a ball you just want to pass over, or if you're going to hit it, you want to jump and be aggressive.
Carlini, we're already mentioning her name. She did not play against Penn State the first time these teams met. And Cassie Salyer was limited in that match for Penn State. So they are both back and healthy and could have a big impact tonight as Wisconsin is off to the quick start.
Wisconsin really needs Carlini to be in the lineup. She's one of their seniors. She's one of their assistant captains. She has a real calming presence on this team. They've got to have her in there.
Net violation against Wisconsin. Penn State picks up the point. Not only undefeated, but doing so with just a dominant nature to the way they've been playing. They've only dropped 2 games so far in their 10 Big Ten matches. And Hodge fired that one long.
She's an aggressive server, and sometimes when you serve aggressive and you miss, you miss aggressive. That was certainly one of those cases.
The pass from Kate Price. Glass plays it over onto the freshman from Leland, Michigan, who was a hitter in high school, new to the setting position.
Doesn't look like it there, though. What a great aggressive dump. She's so athletic and she's so quick. As she develops as a setter, she's going to be one of the best.
Krista Harmato now serving. Missed it wide. Harmato was just huge in the first meeting, had 13 blocks in that Penn State sweep.
She also hit over 400, so not only blocking but attacking. She was just a dominant force, and she's coming back from a knee injury she sustained at the end of last year. Still not maybe 100%.
The sophomore out of Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. Her injury late last year, a big reason why Penn State was knocked out of the NCAA tournament early. As Wisconsin gets the point to go up 6-4. We talked about the significance of the block, and these two are 2 of the best in the nation.
They definitely are. You can see both averaging well over 3 blocks a game. They've got great size, but they've also got great technique. They know how to push over the net as a blocking team, and that's the key to being a great blocking team.
Nicole Fawcett, the sophomore out of Zanesfield, Ohio, with the tip. She was the National Freshman of the Year last season and has been hitting even better this year, and according to the Penn State folks, even harder than she did a year ago, which is hard to believe. Back row Hodge, off the fingertips for the kill.
Well, Nicole Fawcett is one of those players. As a freshman, she had such a great year, but you always get better your sophomore year. Her numbers aren't as high in terms of kills per game, but her hitting percentage is higher. She's smarter. She knows what to do. A year ago, she probably wouldn't have tipped that ball that she just did for a kill. She just would have continued to hammer away. So she's truly one of the great young players in the country. Now she's got Megan Hodge on the other side with her. So the weight has somewhat been lifted. Fawcett had to carry that load a year ago. This year, she's sharing it.
Coaching staff says she's stronger, much more steady this year for Penn State. Glass sets the middle to Melissa Walbridge, the junior from Yardley, Pennsylvania. Penn State rolling along now. They tie it up at 7.
That was all set up by a great dig by Roberta Holhouse, the libero for Penn State. Just got that dig on the money, allowed quick transition for Penn State.
Wicked jump serve that time. And the kill from the freshman Brittany Dogner from Waupun, Wisconsin. Local legend in high school. The 3-time Wisconsin Player of the Year. 4 state championships in a row. Up in Waupun, about 45 minutes away. Hodge with the swing, missed it wide. Point Wisconsin.
The inside set, she was trying to slice it by the middle blockers. That's a really tough angle. Only, I mean, if you're really big and really physical, can you get that ball in? And she just about pulled that off.
Fiddler keeps it up. Free ball, chance now for Wisconsin. Simpson, the back set. Taylor Reineke tools the block for the kill.
Before this match, Pete Wake talked about serving, that they were going to have to serve tough. They were going to have to get Penn State out of system and off the net. And that last serve, a great example. Brittany Dogner did a great serve once again. Back-to-back, creating some problems for Penn State. And if they can do that, Wisconsin is going to be in this match.
Already a different start than the first meeting between these two. There's the ace from Dogner. Their most celebrated recruit ever. And another overpass on the set. Wisconsin couldn't take advantage. Hodge rejected. Simpson and Reineke were up for it.
Perfect by Simpson, just in a great position. You can see her left hand reaching in and over, blocking that ball solely with her left hand. Great strength by Simpson on that block.
5 points in a row here for Wisconsin. Tough pass from Hodge, and another chance here for the Badgers. Simpson goes back to Reineke and goes deep with this one for the kill.
Definitely in the early part of this match, we're seeing them really get the ball to Reineke, running a lot of slides, going behind, going at the freshman Hodge as a blocker. She's a big blocker, but most freshmen, when you start playing college volleyball, that's the one skill you have to develop, because it's just so different than anything they've done in high school, anything they've done in club. So strategically going at her, and as a serve-receive passer, it's another area that Hodge is struggling with early in this match.
They are going at her now on the serve. Carlini couldn't get the floor. Hodge dug up nicely by Jocelyn White. 7 in a row for Wisconsin. Russ Rose content to let his young team play through it right here. Oh, they're really struggling in the passing game right now. Simpson. Reineke. Got another one down. Wisconsin doing everything right, and now Penn State will take the timeout midway through game 1. All Badgers.
How do you feel tonight? Yeah, look, I mean, you looked good. You looked like you were working.
You were fooled. Every time I dunk.
Drop 30, 40.
It fooled you.
Because you believe that was about me.
While I believe it says 5, baby.
But you're not a fool.
Are you?
Hey, man, how'd you do today?
All right, but I totally ate it on my last run. Do I have a big bump?
No.
Cool. New Totino's Mega Pizza Rolls. They'll change your definition of big. Go big with Winter X Games and Totino's Mega Rolls. Log on to getmegaxgames.com or text. You could win the grand prize 2007 Jeep Patriot packed with winter gear or one of thousands of cool instant win prizes, including free Totino's Mega Rolls. Enter now and get mega.
His enemies wanted him dead. But Tony Montana doesn't die that easy. Tony's back. Scarface, the world is yours. Rated mature.
Wendy's 99-cent super value menu choices taste so good.
300,000 Junior Bacon Cheeseburgers.
You'll see dollars in a whole new way. Like our famous Junior Bacon Cheeseburger made with fresh ground beef for just 99 cents. Do what tastes right.
Who's faster, Sprint Mobile Broadband or Singular's Edge? Sprint Mobile Broadband gives you the power to download 5 times faster than Singular's Edge. Work faster with Sprint Mobile Broadband. Get a free mobile broadband card. Visit sprint.com/mobile broadband.
ESPN2's presentation of Big Ten Women's Volleyball is brought to you by AdidasBasketball.com. It takes 5. State Street in downtown Madison. Be rocking this weekend, all the Halloween festivities downtown. And Penn State unbeaten on the season and in big trouble here in game 1 on the road. Down 15-7. Russ Rose spending that whole time out talking to his freshmen. They have won 30 straight on the road in conference play. Their last loss was here 3 years ago in this building.
And Wisconsin, admittedly, they play much, much better in their old building. That's something that they're trying to change, is that they can play with the same intensity when they go on the road, where they've struggled a little bit this year. But this building is magic. They feed off the energy of the crowd, and you can just see Hodges struggling. Wisconsin is continuing to go at them. And what about Brittany Dogner, the freshman, just serving bullet time after time again?
She's going back at Hodge, and it didn't make it over the net. That ends a run of 9 points in a row for Pete Waite's club.
But he did what he needed to do in that rotation. All of a sudden, they've got a very comfortable lead. Now they're going to have to really play some great side-out volleyball here to keep that lead right where they've got it.
A couple of service errors here in game one for Penn State gives Wisconsin the point. Taylor Reinecke will serve, the junior from Naperville, Illinois. Oh, pounded down by Cassie Salyer, the 6'5" senior from Aurora, Colorado.
And did Penn State need that? They needed something positive, something to maybe try to get some momentum on their side, and that's a great play right out of the gate. And how nice having Cassie Salyer back, who missed part of the year with a broken hand. So she's back in the lineup and obviously pounding it hard.
Carlini gets the kill.
A terrific piece of hitting there by Maria Carlini, going up and then really turning hard toward the inside part of the court and getting the ball off the Penn State blocker's hands. Very nice job of attacking smart to that big Penn State block.
Played over nicely by Glass, had to handle the tough pass from the back row.
Right now, Glass is their best offensive attacker with what she's doing dumping-wise. That's been the thing that she's been able to do, and they've been able to get a consistent kill.
Simpson had to haul that one out of the net. Chance now for the Nittany Lions. The back set and crushed by Krista Harmato.
You really don't want to let Penn State get anything going. They're such a good team that when they start rolling, good things can happen.
Simpson looks to Blado, sliding behind, did not cross the net, got hung up on the tape. And now Penn State grabbing a little momentum back.
A little confusion over there on the Wisconsin side. Jackie Simpson's getting a late jump the last 2 times on the serve. She's still been talking to her coach when the ball's being served, and she's not been able to get up and establish a good setting position. So all of a sudden, volleyball, it's such a momentum-driven sport. Just ups and downs and highs and lows. And Penn State was really having a low not long ago, and now all of a sudden it's flipped to the Wisconsin side of the net.
Well, you got to love the moxie of Hodge. Wisconsin was picking on her, and now she's come back serving strong.
You know I'm breaking down the Penn State offensive scheme today, right? It's the game of the week.
So, what color bow can we put on Mr. Beasley today?
Pink. I think Mr. Beasley wants pink.
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern on
UW School of Medicine's Allergy, Asthma, and Pulmonary Research Team is recruiting participants for research studies. If you have a previous diagnosis of asthma and allergies and have just begun experiencing signs or symptoms of a cold, you may be eligible for a research study looking at how the common cold affects your asthma. Visits are usually a few hours, and common tests include physical exams, breathing tests, and blood draws. You will be compensated for your participation. Help us learn more about asthma and allergies and get reimbursed for your efforts. Visit uwasthma.com or call 608-263-0524.
I'm not talking about your ordinary, average, everyday savings.
Unlimited local and long distance, one low price.
No, let's say on the off chance you want to save even more.
You bundle Charter telephone with your other Charter services.
You add more services, you get more savings.
Hello, savings. It's the bundle revolution.
Everybody getting on the bundle train. Woo woo!
Get Charter telephone service for only $29.99 per month. Call 1-866-207-FONE today.
Wisconsin and Penn State in game one. The Badgers with the lead here in the opener. And as good as advertised, the 2 freshmen, Brittany Dogner of Wisconsin and Megan Hodge of Penn State.
And we're seeing both of them right now do some good things. Hodge struggled a little bit there when the team was struggling with their serve receive, but coming back strong now from the service line. You know, Dogner obviously from the service line was basically the story, getting Wisconsin their big run and getting those 9 straight points.
Hodge coming off the ace just a moment ago, serves it up again. Penn State got a piece of the Carlini swing, and here comes Hodge out of the back. Missed it long. Point Wisconsin.
What kind of confidence do you have in a freshman when you've got Nicole Fawcett out here on the left side and you'll throw a pipe in the back row to Megan Hodge?
Now Carlini will serve, the senior from Ontario, Canada. Glass. Back set nicely to Harmato.
And they run that so fast, it's impossible for Wisconsin to get a double block up on that unless they're going to commit their middle that direction. If she does that, Alicia Glass is going to dump them to death. So it's very, very fast. And when they pass well, Penn State, that is, they really have got a great opportunity to run a fast offense and create one-on-one opportunities.
Fawcett with the solo block. And then put away nicely by Audra Jeffers. Point Wisconsin.
Smart play by Jeffers. The ball was sort of hanging up there, a little bit of confusion, so stepped right in there, throw it to one of those deep corners where there usually isn't a defender.
Wisconsin taking advantage of an off game for Megan Hodge here in the early going, and the Badgers really doing everything well. One of the things about Wisconsin, it is such a balanced attack. It's hard to defend, but Penn State had the block up that time.
Well, they did. I think Simpson made a little bit of a mistake of where she put the ball that time. Both blockers really went hard on the three. They went with Reineke, and she set Reineke the ball. She had no chance to get that ball past the block.
Looks for Jeffers. And it was into the antenna, point Penn State.
That's the set she should have made on the last play. She recognized her mistake, went back to it. Obviously, Jeffers couldn't seal the deal and get that ball for a kill, but I think Simpson definitely learned that she needed to kind of go somewhere else and got the ball to Jeffers. And if I was her, I'd go back to Jeffers again right away now on this next swing.
A 9-3 run right here for Penn State to pull back within 4. Simpson takes the pass, looks for Jeffers. Glass got down to lift it up. Free ball, Wisconsin. Don't need it. Hodge long again. Point Wisconsin.
And that's the part of having a freshman out there. You can see the outstanding dig by Alicia Glass here. Look at this full extension, pops that ball up. You know, great job. We're talking about, we talked a lot about Hodge in the open, but Alicia Glass is a tremendous freshman player also for Penn State. She does not look like a freshman when she's out there playing, that is for sure.
Glass sets Fawcett. Whack was there defensively. Glass quick in the middle to Melissa Walbridge.
Nice play by Penn State, and you can see it. Take a look at Alicia Glass, the National Player of the Week. First PSU freshman ever to garner that honor. So you can tell me she's really very, very talented athletically, very, very talented at a position that she doesn't know that much about just yet. She has got big-time potential to be someone who runs our national team in the future.
Fawcett with the ace, and here comes undefeated Penn State. They're within 2.
They're showing some real maturity here and some real leadership. Even though they don't have a lot of upperclassmen on this team, players like Nicole Fawcett coming through with a big play, Alicia Glass, the freshman, coming through with some big plays. It's really important for this Penn State team to find leadership from these young kids because they just don't have a lot of experience on the floor.
They've got 4 underclassmen out there right now. And now the freshman Brittany Dogner will serve for Wisconsin. Number 14 in the nation, and this would be the biggest feather in their cap if they can pull off the upset, as Hodge gets it between the blockers for the kill.
And that was huge for Penn State. That was the rotation where they gave Wisconsin a ton of points in a row. They needed to get out of that rotation immediately. They did it on the first ball, so that's a big advantage for Penn State.
House with that jump roll. Reineke got it down inside the block, point Wisconsin.
Taylor Reineke has come up big so far here in game 1. That's her 5th kill. They're getting her the ball early, and they're getting it to her often, and she's come up not hesitating, going right at this Penn State block.
Hodge pushes it for the corner and got it in.
Now there's some smarts. We've seen her take a couple of swings that probably were ill-advised earlier in this match that ended up as errors for her team. There is one where she felt off balance. Much smarter decision just to push tip it into the deep corner.
She has tremendous IQ, according to Russ Rose. Thinks like an upperclassman out there as Penn State is into the net. Both of her parents played for the national team in their native Virgin Islands.
Her mom was quite a college player at George Washington as well, so she's got great lineage for this game, and she's grown up around it.
And right now, they trail Wisconsin in game 1 back to Madison after this.
I want a front door that makes a great first impression for years and years.
You can at the Home Depot with Feather River entry doors. They're made of fiberglass so they won't dent, rust, or rot, but they have the warmth and beauty of wood. And now Feather River is introducing interior wood doors. Plus, get 20% off all special order Feather River doors. Feather River doors, exclusively at the Home Depot.
You can do it. We can help.
That transition from the 80s to the 90s really was like confused. I think everyone was a confused time, you know, from the neon pinks to the weird patterns and then into the kind of like flannel. I thought that was interesting how we did that. And then, you know, just as a measly high schooler, you just fall into it and you can't help it. You want to be different, but you just become this cargo pants wearer. Hi, I'm Alex Bay, and this is what I discovered at Sears.
How can it be offensive if it's true?
Okay, first of all, I'm not 100% in love with your tone right now.
Tone aside, historically, you guys have struggled to adapt.
Yeah, right. Walking upright, discovering fire, inventing the wheel, laying the foundation for all mankind. You're right. Good point. Sorry we couldn't get that to you sooner.
Connie, your reaction?
Sounds like someone woke up on the wrong side of the rock.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
This is a lot of food. Steak, egg, and cheese burrito. And there's tots in there, and onions, and green peppers. I know. It's no normal breakfast. It's like a breakfast. Like a breakfast. Wow. Yeah, wow indeed. Wow. Breakfast.
Steak, egg, and cheese burrito. Sonic's got it, others don't. Loaded with thin sliced steak, it's the hearty way to start your morning. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Monday at 3, it's a special edition of SportsCenter. Then Around the Horn, followed by Pardon the Interruption. After that, NFL Primetime, followed by Monday Night Countdown. Then Tom Brady's Patriots face the Vikings on ESPN Monday Night Football. Is it Monday yet?
Wisconsin with the lead over second-ranked Penn State here in Game 1. Big Ten volleyball from Madison, Wisconsin. And we've got the Sunday Showdown presented by Alltel Wireless coming up at 8 o'clock Eastern. The UConn Huskies taking on one of the real surprises of the college football season, the undefeated Rutgers Scarlet Knights and Ray Rice. College football lives here. All college football games on ESPN and ESPN2 are also available in high definition. Call your local cable operator or satellite provider today. And it'll be tough for Ray Rice to top what he did last week. Nearly 40 rushes and 225 yards in their win against Pittsburgh to keep them perfect. And speaking of perfect, Penn State 21-0 on the season. Hodge missed it wide. They have only trailed in 3 matches all year, and Wisconsin in jeopardy of putting them down here today. Simpson on the serve. Glass. Blocked by the Badgers. Glass goes to Hodge. Kept up by Jeffers. Blado with the set. And Jeffers couldn't get it away. Whole house. Fantastic coverage. Carlini with the kill.
Great defense on both sides of the net. We saw just a long extended rally, but Wisconsin seems to be winning those long rallies here. And they're really feeding off, again, this energy of this crowd, and they're making great plays. And Pete Wade and his staff have got to be thrilled with the intensity that his Badger team is putting out on the floor.
20 matches this year. Penn State has only dropped 6 games total. And right now they are down to Wisconsin. Look at that. 17 of their 21 matches have been sweeps.
They have lost the first game, though, a couple of times this year and rebounded for wins, one of which was their big win at Texas. Lost the first 2 games, in fact. Came storming back to win that match. Then they lost their first game at Michigan last weekend. Came back to dominate in that match as well. So they have lost the first game and come back again. But, you know, in this situation, they've got a pretty ruckus crowd here and a pretty motivated Wisconsin team.
This is their most significant test of the year this weekend, visiting Madison and then visiting Minneapolis. There you see Nebraska was a winner earlier in the week as they swept Missouri. The only 2 unbeatens left. Stanford lurking there at number 3. Very dangerous. And kudos to Utah and LSU into the top 10 for the first time in their program's history. And are we headed for another showdown of unbeatens like we saw in 1998 when Penn State lost to Long Beach State here in Madison down the street at the Kohl Center in the final?
It's very, very difficult to go through a year undefeated. And, you know, Nebraska was in that situation last year, lost their very last Big 12 match of the year, and then lost in the national championship match to Washington. So it can be very difficult. Some people say it's almost a curse to get to the NCAA tournament undefeated because you don't want to lose your first one there because you're one and done at that point.
Nebraska, by the way, pretty much hosting the NCAA championships this year. They will be in Omaha. And Blado gets the kill, and Wisconsin now 2 points away from taking game 1.
And they've had a great response. They weathered the storm when Penn State made their big run to cut it close. Wisconsin has come back with strong, aggressive plays to regain the lead.
They have been fantastic here in game 1. Lift called on Penn State, and it's game point for the Badgers.
Game point for the Badgers.
Fawcett wide. The Wisconsin Badgers, a bit of a surprise in game 1. They take the opener from Penn State, 30-22, including a 9-point run on the serve of freshman Brittany Dogner.
Hey, man, how'd you do today?
All right, but I totally ate it.
So she's going to need to steady out a little bit for this Penn State team to be able to come back.
41 Big Ten wins in a row over the last 3 years for Penn State. And Hodge, although she leads the team in kills with 5, a negative hitting percentage. She made 7 of those 9 errors, and she was the one that Wisconsin picked on when Brittany Dogner served 9 consecutive points in a row.
And this is going to be one of those challenges for her as a young player. You know, this is a different atmosphere than she's probably ever played in her life. And so can she respond and pull herself out of the funk?
Here it is. They'll start out with that Dogner serving and the error for Brittany. She's been their leader in kills the last 9 matches, but it was very well balanced in game 1 with Reineke and Carlini leading the way. 3 ball Wisconsin. Can't do anything with it. Point Penn State.
Well, Hodge definitely much less aggressive. She had that ball up there and didn't even try to swing at it, just used her hand, set it over, but found a weakness in that Wisconsin defense.
Simpson looks for Carlini. Gets the kill.
Great play by Wisconsin. The blockers pulled hard with the middle. They went with Reineke with a little misdirection, ball out to Carlini. She was up 1-on-1. Anytime you're a hitter and you're up with only 1 blocker, that's a ball you should terminate.
Walbridge able to get the point for Penn State. They go up 3-1 here in game 2. Nicole Fawcett will serve. She is in the U.S. national pool. Last year's National Freshman of the Year and an All-American. Carlini got it down after the terrific play by Amanda Berkeley, the defensive specialist.
Amanda Berkeley really made that. First of all, that was a tough jump serve by Nicole Fawcett, and she just nailed it. And second thing she did is she did a great job on the cover. So Amanda Berkeley, number 6, coming in there, doing her job there in the back row.
6 kills now for Carlini. Hodge. Penn State didn't get the pass they were looking for. Chance now for Jeffers. Glass goes back to Hodge. Ripped it off the tape. Dug up by Wack. And the kill for Walbridge off the quick set in the middle.
Jocelyn Wack from Wisconsin doing a great job. The libero had some nice big digs in that rally. Unfortunately for Wisconsin, they couldn't transition any of those into kill. And you know, right now Penn State's getting their kills not by hitting the ball hard. They're just sort of putting the ball in weaknesses, maybe being a little smarter this game, not making quite so many errors and finding the weak spots in that Wisconsin defense.
Big block from Penn State. Harmato and Price were up. Jocelyn, that NCAA record 80-match streak with more than 10 digs came to an end on Friday the 13th. 80 in a row. And then the streak was snapped. She's had double-digit digs in their 3 matches since then.
It's amazing that she got to 80 in the first place, because you just have those matches where the ball's not hit to you, or, you know, you just have those matches, those quick matches where you don't have opportunities. But she has been just a model of consistency for this Wisconsin program.
Number 2 all-time in her career here at Wisconsin. Boy, Carlini has been terrific so far today. 8 kills now for Maria.
And she's just so smart. She moves the ball around well. She's always slicing and dicing and going around the blockers rather than trying to go through them. Because Penn State, you try to go through them, they will make you pay.
Glass looking for Hodge. They brought her into the middle that time, and she fired it.
They tried to run it 2 to her in the first game. It was just out of sync, and she didn't get a good swing on it. But that time they were insistent. They were able to throw that nice 2 ball up to Hodge, and she can bring the heat.
Simpson looking for Jeffers. Boy, we got good attacks on both sides of the net here today.
Absolutely, just finding little seams in the block and getting both these teams when they pass well. The setters are good enough that most of the time there's going to be a seam or a crack in the block to hit through.
Another tough serve. Hodge gets it down off of Reineke's fingertips.
If it works once, you go to it again. It worked twice. So that time, Wisconsin had 3 blockers up, so they got the triple block up and got the hands on it, but still nobody from Wisconsin could dig it up.
Tough pass from Carlini. She'll swing out of the back. Glass. Oh, Fawcett, another terrific get by one. Tremendous defense from Jocelyn Wack.
Nicole Fawcett was up without a blocker, and that's scary for a defender. But Jocelyn Wack, look at number 13, standing in there, just takes it and absorbs it. What a play.
Miscue on the Penn State side of the net. Point for Wisconsin. The Badgers are within 2. They took game 1, 30-22. The largest deficit suffered by Penn State in a game all season. Hodges pass to Glass. Fawcett blocked. Simpson and Reineke.
The blocking game was really quiet in game 1. Each team only got 1 block apiece. And again, these teams average well over 3 a game, but we're seeing them exert themselves a little more here in this second game. Both teams coming up with big blocks.
Another kill for Wisconsin. Dogner way up.
That's one of the first times we've really seen her sort of unobstructed going after a ball. And she's only 6 feet tall, which you might think is tall, but for volleyball in this day and age, not so tall anymore. But what a great athlete, a great jumper, really elevates well. And we can see just a little bit of her potential on that one play.
She will be approaching rock star status any day now here in Madison. The local product committed to this team on Christmas Day a couple years ago. She got a Wisconsin keychain from her mom, and that was the trigger. Called Pete Waite later in the day and said, "I'm coming." That was a happy Christmas dinner around the White House, by the way, after that phone call. Hodge, long.
Recruiting is such a tough game, and when you work hard and you find someone who's from your state that you can bring into your program to help, it's just a win-win for everybody. So, like you said, that had to be a happy day, and I think that's going to be a match that's going to benefit both Dogner and the Wisconsin volleyball program.
Walbridge gets the kill. Point Penn State to regain the lead here in game 2. Simpson looks for Carlini. missed it wide.
Badger hit out of bounds, point, Penn State.
Carlini had a shot to go seam. There was a hole in that block, but the ball was inside. She decided to turn it line, but just missed. An aggressive swing, but again, tactically, maybe wanting to take what the blocker's giving her.
Fawcett bumps it up. Block was there for Wisconsin. Quick set to Reineke. Simpson distributing so well.
And again, Simpson is a junior. You know, she's got experience. She's been in this program. She really knows how to run that system. And usually teams with older setters just seem things run a little bit smoother than teams with younger setters, which is obviously something Penn State's going through, having Glass, the freshman, at the helm.
Simpson looks for Dogner out of the back. Did not get the touch. Oh, now they're going to give it to her. Point, Wisconsin.
And that's an element that she's brought to this Badger team that they haven't had in a few years. They've not had a legitimate back row hammer, and Dogner is that person. She's brought that to them from the very first time she played. She subbed in their first match. They were behind. She took over the match, and one of the things she did immediately was gave them a back row threat.
The ace for Reineke. And a real credit to the older players on both of these clubs, as well as the coaches, Russ Rose and Pete Waite, that they have been able to have these tremendous freshmen just gel right in seamlessly with their older teammates. The chemistry on both these clubs has been very good this year. Dogner again out of the back. Did not get the touch that time.
Bringing the confidence of this team, just like I said before when they were getting the ball in the back row to Hodge, out of the back row, even when Nicole Fawcett's in the front row, just having that option to get something different, throw something in the middle when all the blockers think that ball's going to go outside. It really can open up the offense for your team, and both teams are doing it with freshmen.
Simpson dumps it over for the point. Wisconsin on top.
I was waiting for it. I knew it was coming. I knew there was going to be a time when she was going to decide to dump, and just she's been waiting. She's had opportunities. She's been lulling those blockers to sleep and finding the perfect moment. And again, that experience, the junior setter, just picking the right moment.
Now she is serving and commits the service error. Penn State ties it up. Wisconsin trying to jump on top 2-zip. Take the commanding lead and hand Penn State their first loss of the season. They come in 20-0. One of just 2 remaining unbeatens in the nation.
Well, they're definitely going to have to play well to keep their record unscathed, because this Wisconsin team is playing at a very, very high level. And again, Penn State is in a position that they really haven't been in on the road. Maybe their match at Texas felt a little bit like this, but you know, clearly it's affecting Hodge a little bit. She's not been on her game. She comes through with a huge kill right there, but just not been on her game, and they're going to need her to step up.
Tied at 14. Kate Price serving. Jeffers blocked by Hodge, up for the solo.
Timeout, Wisconsin.
Midway through game 2, we'll take a break. Wisconsin with the 1-0 lead, looking to pull off the upset at home and knock Penn State from the unbeaten ranks.
Anyway, that's the control room. A lot of chaos there, but it all looks good when it comes out in the show, actually, thanks to those people. Then over here in the digital center is our highlight screening area. So that's where we get all the games that are played that night, down in a 90.
Stump known for her assists. Knocked over by Nelson. He's set up by Massaful. Right hand return by Jackie Ray. And game 1 is knotted up at 17 apiece. Timeout, UW-Whitewater. You're watching the WIAC Women's College Volleyball Match of the Week on FSN North.
Since its early days as a facility for training teachers, UW-Whitewater has grown into a modern, world-class university. Our College of Business and Economics is one of the largest in the state and is nationally known. Our College of Education produces more first-year teachers than any other university.
There's nothing like high speed. No matter how many times I experience it, I still feel my adrenaline kicking in. When I'm getting ready to download some new tunes, plan my next vacation, share pictures with my friends, or do a little virtual racing. And now with Charter High Speed 5.0, everything is so fast it'll make your head spin. And I do know a thing or two about head spinning.
Get Charter High Speed Internet for only $49.99 per month for 12 months. Call today.
Women's volleyball, number 2 Penn State and number 14 Wisconsin on ESPN2. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our action. Big Ten volleyball from Madison, Wisconsin, and the field house where the Badgers took game 1, and now Penn State trying to tie up the match. The Nittany Lions undefeated at 21-0 and in first place in the Big Ten. Wisconsin trying to keep it close and improve their chances of winning the title.
With 3 losses, Wisconsin's got a lot of work to do. Not only do they need to try to beat Penn State, but Penn State's going to have to fall to some other teams if they're going to be in that mix. But what they do is they bring Minnesota back into it in a big way if they can get a win here, because we've got them up 2 teams with only 1 loss. The Big Ten Conference is a tough conference. So they're used to getting 6 of their 11 teams at least into the NCAA tournament. Their top 5 teams are all ranked in the 25 right now. So this is a tough conference, and winning on the road is a premium.
Yeah, the top is pretty strong this year for the Big Ten. They have had a team playing for the national championship in 5 of the last 10 seasons during a stretch that has been dominated by the Pac-10. Longest rally of the match right here. Ended by Fawcett. Point Penn State.
Point Penn State.
And Fawcett just bringing the heat from the left side right now. Went with an off speed before, but take a look at this hit. You can see a little bit of good defense. We got to give the libero credit. Nice set, and then hammering it hard. Carlini maybe a little indecisive there. If it was in, if it was out.
Glass serving. Simpson sets Carlini. Rushes that one.
That was a point Wisconsin had to have. And now we've got, back and forth. But right now, Penn State's in the position of power. They've got that 1-point lead. Wisconsin wants to try to tie this up here.
Game to 30, must win by 2. Fawcett has been huge down the stretch here in game 2.
And with this rally score, even in a close game like this, if you're the team with that 1 to 2 point lead, you're really in a great position. And that's where Penn State is right now, not relinquishing that lead to Wisconsin.
Now, however, the rotation sends Fawcett to the sideline, and Fiddler will come on to serve. Salyer is also back in, and Price is out. The pass from Berkeley. Carlini dug up by Holhouse. Berkeley to Simpson to Blado, sliding behind, missed it. Nope, they're going to give her the touch.
I think they actually called a net. I think Megan Hodge got that net on the block. Our down official was right on that, called it right away, and Wisconsin's done what they needed to do to get within 1 point, but can they tie it up? This is the point where Penn State's got to be so strong in their side-out offense. Pass set, put it away, get themselves 29.
28-27 Penn State here in game 2. Wisconsin took the opener 30-22, buoyed by a 9-0 run midway through the game on the serve of their freshman, Brittany Dogner. Of course, the goal to win that Big Ten championship and then beyond. Every year for these 2 programs, they're thinking about the NCAA championship as well. It'll all start with first-round action November 30th through December 3rd, and then we'll have the regionals for you on ESPNU from Florida, Texas, Washington, and Hawaii on the weekend of December 7th through the 10th. And then it's the NCAA semis December 14th, and the national championship match December 16th on ESPN2 from a sold-out Quest Center in Omaha, Nebraska. There have been 3 NCAA undefeated national champs. USC did it once back in the AIAW days as well, but USC in 2003 ripped through the season undefeated, and Penn State and Nebraska, the last 2 unbeatens this year. Hodge blocked, and Wisconsin breaks through to tie it. Big play by the senior Amy Blado.
Amy Blado knew that Hodge was coming in there. They did it a couple times earlier. She watched that attack pattern. Every time Hodge was hit it the same direction, she was waiting for her that time.
Another timeout called by Penn State.
Well, this is going to be where Penn State's got to find some offense because Nicole Fawcett absolutely dominated the net the last time through. So now we've got Hodge in there who's had some big kills, but we've seen some big miscues as well. So where's the offense going to come from? That's what Russ Rose is talking to his team about. Right now, he's talking to Alicia Glass, setting up a play, trying to figure out exactly how they want to attack this Wisconsin team after this timeout, pardon me.
It'll be the first team to put 2 points together in a row to win game 2. Here is what is at stake for Penn State. They have not lost in the Big Ten in almost 3 years. 41 consecutive conference wins. And they are chasing their own Big Ten record, which is 49. But boy, they knew that this was going to be the toughest stretch of their season because they're here tonight, Wisconsin, number 2 in attendance. And then they're off to Minnesota at number 4 in attendance in the nation.
And there's a big target on their backs. Number 2 undefeated. You know that these teams are bringing their A game when Penn State's standing on the other side of the net.
Hodge with the tip. Chance for Wisconsin. Carlini. Glass slips. And the miscue gives Wisconsin a game point.
And I can't believe for a minute that Russ Rose wanted Megan Hodge to tip that ball. She essentially gave a free ball to Wisconsin, but they terminated back. And a little bit of bad luck with the slip by Alicia Glass. But when you're coming out of that timeout, you got to go and you got to swing.
Got to bring the heat. Now it's a chance for Wisconsin to take a commanding lead. Glass blocked by Blado. The Badgers working on the huge upset of undefeated Penn State. And the solo rejection for the senior Amy Blado sends Penn State into the locker room for the 3rd time this year, down 2-0.
Whatever it is, you can get it on eBay.
Call Jennifer. Display map. 72 degrees.
The newly refined Acura TL, where technology enhances performance, comfort, and life. There are no boring drives. Acura. Advance.
I'm not all about like keeping up with trends or name brands, and I definitely go for things that I feel most comfortable in. I feel like we're getting out of the phase where like everyone was wearing short like shirts and low pants and showing a lot of skin, which I am not a fan of. So I really love this like fully like clothed but fashionable thing that's happening. It's really nice. Hi, my name is Tiffany Villerin, and this is what I found at Sears.
This is an actual reenactment. Mary had just picked up her kids and was heading home to make dinner. Just then, in the blink of an eye, nothing happened. Events like this occur countless times every day, and Progressive Direct is doing something about it, giving real savings to these good drivers. In fact, good drivers who switched to Progressive saved hundreds right away.
A raucous crowd at the Fieldhouse in Madison on this Halloween weekend. A house of horrors for Penn State through games 1 and 2 as the Badgers have been rocking and rolling, trying to hand Penn State its first Wisconsin, one game away from doing just that. Twice this year, Penn State has been down 0-2, and on both occasions, they rallied to win the match. If they can't get it done a third time, Kathy Nelson, they are toast. And so is a 41-match winning streak in Big Ten play.
Well, this is definitely an intimidating place to play, and I think we're seeing that. We're seeing the results of maybe a Penn State team that's a little bit off their game, but also getting rattled a little bit by this great Wisconsin crowd.
So far in the match, Wisconsin has done a terrific job right from the start against a Penn State team that is #2 in the nation in hitting. Wisconsin has held them well below that mark today, while they themselves have popped their hitting percentage up even higher.
And even more impressive about Wisconsin's hitting percentage is that Penn State typically only allows their opponents to hit just over 100. So they're way above that. But you're talking about the freshmen. Talked about them in the open. Brittany Dogner, 7 kills, kind of quiet, but hitting .545, very efficient. Megan Hodge, we called her name a lot, but a lot of that's because she's a little bit error prone so far tonight.
10 kills, but 10 errors for Hodge. Dogner served real well in game 1 and then came up with 6 kills and hit over 700 in game 2. And the serve has been much better, keeping Penn State off balance. And that 41-match win streak in Big Ten play, which spans over 3 seasons, is in serious jeopardy here today. Wisconsin in the white, Penn State in the blue. Pete Waite looking to hand the Nittany Lions their first loss of the season. Only Penn State and Nebraska are unbeaten on the year. Earlier this season against LSU as well as against Texas down in Austin, Penn State was able to rally from 2-0 deficits.
And there's some great Penn State volleyball right there. We've got a great libero doing her job, Roberta Holhouse with a great up, and then Hodge swinging aggressively, not tipping, not chipping, doing what she does best, and that's bring the heat.
Glado, who had the 2 huge blocks at the end of game 2, comes up with the kill.
We hadn't called her name very much until the end of that match, and now she's coming up big, and that's what you want your senior captains to do, is come up big when your team needs you the most.
Tied at 2 here in game 3. Reineke with another block. They have really turned the tables at the net in this rematch after Penn State swept Wisconsin at home. They are now trying to return the favor. The Nittany Lions aren't accustomed to getting swept. It hasn't happened in 4 years. Simpson to Dogner, gets the kill.
And Wisconsin just looks very much in control. They don't look like they're getting too emotional, but they're just doing a good job of controlling the ball from the service line and from the passing. And that's, you know, every coach will tell you, if you win the serving and passing battle, most of the time you're going to win a volleyball match.
Big swing by Harmato. That is a name that we have not called a whole lot on the Penn State side of the net.
And how quick is her arm swing? When that ball gets in there, it is out so quickly. It's one of the things that separates her. Russ Rose said last year about her as a freshman, when she's playing well, she is as good at the net as anybody we've ever had. And Penn State has had a lot of players who've been phenomenal at the net.
We've talked about not only the numbers that Harmato brings, but the leadership and the emotion that she brings. Says something about her as a leader, that she's a captain of this team as just a sophomore.
You don't see that very often, but this Penn State team looks to Krista Harmato.
Alicia Glass, their freshman setter, looks to Harmato. Got the touch for the point. Wisconsin fans don't agree. In fact,
there was some
that's
confusion.
Amanda Berkeley thinking she was going to serve, but it's actually going to be Hodge.
Neither line judge actually called it, but the up official went ahead and made that call.
Reineke splitting the block.
And how good has Reineke been tonight? She was great in game 1, maybe a little more quiet in game 2, but big block, and now a huge kill. And you can see there's almost no space between Fawcett and Harmato, but it's that little tiny space that Reineke found.
She's been above average so far today. She's got 9 kills now in the match. Dogner puts it into the net. Point Penn State.
Harmato serving.
Krista Harmato. Simpson looks to Carlini, off the fingertips. Point Badgers.
Carlini has been so good. We mentioned earlier she did not play in the match when Penn State played earlier when it was at Penn State. And what a difference she has made, not just with the amount of kills she's getting, which is really very impressive, but just her leadership. You can just tell this team functions better with Carlini on the floor.
That would be 11 kills now for Carlini as Glass dumps it over to get the point for Penn State. They're back within 1. Simpson looks for Blado. Fawcett. She was strong late in game 2 for Penn State. And really they lost a hold of that game when she had to leave, when the rotation brought her around to the back row. Hodge out of the back. Carlini again through the block.
Just a terrific, aggressive swing on a broken play. As an outside hitter when I played, I always loved the broken plays. That's when I always wanted to swing my hardest because I knew the block wouldn't be well formed. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to take those balls easy. You want to hit those as hard as you can. And Carlini just did a perfect job of that there.
Quick hitter to Walbridge in the middle. She gets the kill.
Nice offensive set on that play by Penn State. Had a couple of quick attackers going, got the ball to Walbridge. She's just such a strong attacker, such a strong blocker. Had a real stalwart for this Penn State team.
She gets a block right there. Walbridge has led the conference the last 2 years in blocking as well as hitting percentage out of the middle for Penn State.
And how's this as a block? Walbridge is 6'3", Salyer is 6'5". So you're looking across the net, you've got a whole lot of Penn State right in front of you.
Carlini. Boy, she has been terrific tonight. The senior, her last home match against Penn State. Just the midway point of the season. So still plenty of time for Wisconsin with the 3 losses. They'll need some help from some other folks as they try and catch Penn State atop the standings. And Wisconsin is back up by 1.
And what a great set by Jackie Simpson. And look at that angle by Audra Jeffers. Just taking that ball, such a hard angle. Alicia Glass really got caught off guard. I don't think she felt she could hit a ball that sharp.
Tough time passing after the strong serve again. Simpson to Blado off the antenna. Point Penn State.
Right after that play, Simpson looked at Blado and said, my bad. If she had it, she had her right there. Just set that ball a little bit wide.
Full house with the jump. Simpson looks outside to Dogner down the line.
You got to give credit to Wisconsin's passing tonight. Holthouse has got a terrific jump serve. I mean, she rips it, and that ball is passed on the money. And that is something that great teams can do. And I think Penn State's serve has been a little bit diffused tonight by the great passing of Wisconsin.
Another strong serve, and the pass goes around the outside of the antenna.
And that's where the game has really changed. When they played last time, Penn State outblocked Wisconsin 17.5 to 6. That has totally been negated, and now Wisconsin has a slight lead in the blocking category. The other thing that Penn State did very well is they won the service aces. They had 9 service aces to 5 for Wisconsin. That has completely been switched around as well. So 2 things that require a lot of aggression, your serving and your blocking, have both been turned around from the first 2 times these teams played. When Penn State, quite frankly, dominated Wisconsin, they've been switched, and now Wisconsin is really in a position where they can perhaps upset the number 2 team in the country.
You see the looks of concern now on the Penn State players' faces. They were down in game 3 against Texas, 28-24, 2 points away from losing the match, and they rallied to win that game and then win the match. So they have been in a similar situation on the road once before this year.
And that game, that deciding game, went to 36-34. So it was definitely one of those matches that, you know, sometimes can be, you know, can change your whole outlook of your team. So, you know, they will need that sort of an effort here tonight. But Wisconsin is a little bit error prone. And again, you want to stay aggressive when you serve because it's been so important. You can see the errors versus the aces. Wisconsin's got 5 aces, 10 errors, so those are starting to mount just a little bit. But they have to be aggressive. If they're not, Penn State's too good offensively.
Carlini out of the back. Missed it long. Point Penn State. Hodge serving. The service error for the Nittany Lions. That's their first miscue of the game 3. Midway through the third, Wisconsin with the lead, looking to close out Penn State.
Tap the can, ladies, for a single. You can mingle. There's my double cheeseburger and my sweet sundae. I love hot French fries. And top it off with a parfait. That'll work.
Now's the time to take advantage of the McDonald's Dollar Menu.
Food for my party? Busted.
From parfaits to fries to double cheeseburgers.
Where's my parfait, homie?
Hey, man. How'd you do today?
All right, but I totally ate it on my last run. Do I have a big bump?
No.
Cool.
New Totino's Mega Pizza Rolls. They'll change your definition of big. Go big with Winter X Games and Totino's Mega Rolls. Log on to getmegaxgames.com or text. You could win the grand prize 2007 Jeep Patriot packed with winter gear or one of thousands of cool instant win prizes, including free Totino's Mega Rolls. Enter now and get mega.
Don't forget about us, Stevie.
With Glidden Team Colors paint, you can get the official colors of your favorite team.
Sir, you're all set.
Whoever that may be. Exclusively from Glidden and only at the Home Depot.
Your car needs air to operate efficiently, and a restrictive paper air filter can leave it gasping for breath. K&N Lifetime air filters with high-flow technology aren't made of paper, so air flows more easily. In short, more air means more horsepower. Changing your clogged air filter can improve mileage by up to 10%, and a K&N Lifetime air filter never needs to be replaced. Make your move with K&N, the world's best air filter.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Virginia Tech, Miami, UCLA, Cal, or other regional action. Saturday at 8.
Wisconsin surprising #2 Penn State. They've taken games 1 and 2. They are in the lead here in the third. Reminder to catch every bump, set, and spike of the Patriot League Women's College Volleyball matchup. It's Army and Navy. No matter what the records, no matter what the sport, it's always big when the Middies and the Black Knights get together on ESPNU Sunday night at 5:30 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com. With Darth Vader looking on, that's the block party, the student section down there in one of the end zones here at the Fieldhouse. They've been on their feet making a lot of noise all day. And they've had plenty to shout about.
Well, Halloween started tonight. If you live in Madison, Wisconsin, and they're doing everything they can to make this a haunted house tonight for the Penn State Nittany Lions, and so far it seems to be working in their favor.
Starting to slip away from Penn State. Fawcett with the kill.
And big time. That's a big-time swing from a big-time player.
How about the success of the Badgers at home, winning about 75% of their matches? Only 2 losses a year for the last 10 years. Pete Wade has been here for the last 8. Went to the national championship match in 2000. They've been to the Elite 8 the last 2 years in a row. Fawcett with the block. Penn State with the dynamic sophomore and freshman classes that they put together back-to-back, trying to end a bit of a drought. They have not been back to the national semis since they won the championship in '99.
And they really have suffered some disappointing losses. Last year, their loss to Tennessee in the first round of regionals at Penn State. It was right there in University Park, and they couldn't come up with a win. And I know it's one of those losses that will motivate a team. That'll get a team to try to, really figure out a way to not repeat history. And you know that was a match that no way did Penn State think they were going to lose, not in a million years. And so that's one that that Russ Rose has looked at, that his team has looked at, and figured out how they can, again, not repeat what's happened.
One of only 3 programs that have gone to every NCAA tournament, including those 5 trips to the national semis and beyond. Fawcett with another big crank.
And once again, coming up huge. She was a huge factor for Penn State in game 2. She's doing it again in game 3. The question is, where's the offense going to come from when Nicole Fawcett goes to the back row?
Simpson dumps it over.
And so smart. Both Penn State wing players knew the dump was coming, and they collapsed right to the middle of the court. But she went deep. She went up and over their heads and caught the caught the defense napping a little bit, who were deep. And that's one of those things a smart setter will do.
Simpson with another tough serve, setting up this opportunity for Wisconsin. Penn State, Fawcett, long. Badgers go up a couple.
She didn't miss it by much, but she's continuing just to go for it and rip it and trying to get her team to kind of ride her right now.
Finesse from Walbridge.
Walbridge with the kill point, Penn State.
Point Penn State.
Smart play by Walbridge. They definitely needed to get that side out. But again, now the rotation is Fawcett's in the back row. She's going to come out. Fiddler's going to go in and serve for her. But where's the offense going to come from? We see Kate Price back in the game now, playing right side instead of Salyer. So a couple of changes that seem to work for him pretty well in game 2. Having Price in the game. We'll see if it works in game 3.
Point for Wisconsin. And now the question for the Badgers is that focus. Stay in the point. Don't start thinking ahead to finishing out this match until they actually execute it on the floor here. They're up 1 now in game 3. Ace for Holthouse.
That's the first time she's been able to get one of those great jump serves in for an ace. And again, she just rips it. She's not that big, but man, she really tosses the ball into the court. She jumps forward and hits it hard. She jump serves like a guy jump serves. I mean, she really throws it into the court and jumps forward after it.
Carlini departs. Fawcett is also out of the game in this rotation for Penn State. Blato into the net. And the Nittany Lions are back on top.
And that's the push they needed, especially, except Fawcett's not even in the front row, and they caught him to pass now. This Wisconsin team, it's exactly what they needed.
Simpson sets Jeffers. Net violation, Penn State.
Net violation. Point, Wisconsin.
I think Russ Rose is having a conversation because there is a rule in college volleyball that there can be an incidental net. If it does not happen during the course of a play, if you're moving off the net or if the play has been completed and you're now transitioning, it's actually not considered a net anymore. So I think that's what Russ Rose is saying, is that play had been completed. Harmato was turning to come off the net for transition. There would be no foul at that point.
They will plead their case, but that will not change the score. Tied at 21. Penn State in blue, Wisconsin in white. The Badgers, a stunning 2-0 lead over the second ranked and unbeaten Nittany Lions. And they take the lead back. Dogner with the huge swing.
But it was the big dig by Megan Mills. Kept that ball in play. Hodge hammered across court. Mills dug it. Another hammer on the other side. Holthouse couldn't dig it. That's the difference in that rally.
Timeout, Penn State. Down 1 here in game 3.
Monday, coincidentally, rhymes with fun day, but with an M and an O. Point is, it's Monday Night Football Day, beginning with a special edition of SportsCenter, then Around the Horn, followed by PTI with Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser. After that, recap all of Sunday's action on NFL Primetime, followed by Monday Night Countdown with Boomer and the whole gang. Then it's ESPN Monday Night Football. Tom Brady's New England Patriots are in Minnesota to face Chester Taylor and the Vikings. Is it Monday?
Dexter Morgan, he's a new kind of cop.
You have a morbid sense of fun.
That's probably true. He's making Miami safer, one murder at a time.
See you at the next bloodbath?
Never miss a party. He's homicidal in a good way. Dexter, Sundays at 10/9 Central.
Right here on Charter Digital Cable.
Or watch anytime on Showtime On Demand.
Call now to order.
Get Showtime On Demand in the movie tier at no additional cost with any Charter Digital Cable package.
This is my 4th study at Covance in the past 5 years. And I have to admit that at first, I kind of wondered what the other participants would be like. But I found out that people just like me participate in clinical studies, and they do it for a lot of different reasons. Some for the money, and some to help others. For me, it's a little bit of both. Covance is looking for healthy individuals to participate in a new clinical study. To find out more, visit testwiththebest.com or call 800-732-2528.
Fine Wisconsin dairy products, the cow in downtown Madison. And the Badgers with the lead, taking games 1 and 2, and they are up in game 3, looking to hand Penn State their first loss of the season. The Nittany Lions 21-0 on the year. And this would tighten things up in the Big Ten race as well. Dogner with the kill. Point Wisconsin.
And how smart has Dogner been tonight? Maybe on a night when her number's not getting called that much, mixing up her shots, going with the off speed, continuing to hit at a very high efficient number.
11 kills now for Dogner. Glass pushed it over on 2.
Glass has been very impressive tonight, using her dump, and in that case, setting it over the net, finding ways to get kills. Again, when Fawcett's not in the front row, they've struggled offensively. She's taken it upon herself to get kills for her team.
Jeffers. This has been the most productive front for Wisconsin, with Dogner, Jeffers, and Reineke up front.
Jeffers just left, though. Now Simpson's front row. She's only got the 2-hitter phase now to try to use, although she may try to throw some pipes in there in the back row.
Glass looks to Hodge. The freshman, long.
Hodge is just having that nightmare night where she just is killing this team with so many errors. And Alicia Glass is going to have to give the ball to Harmado, or she's going to have to take it upon herself to try to get a side out right now.
11 kills for Hodge and 11 errors as well.
You know, reminiscent of Penn State's last match last year, you know, we've talked about their record here in Big Ten, but last year in the NCAA tournament when they lost to Tennessee, Nicole Fawcett had probably the worst match of her freshman year, where she had 16 kills, but she had 16 errors. She hit 0 in that match against Tennessee, and Russ Rose alluded to that, how that really motivated her, that she learned a lot about herself in that match. Megan Hodge is in that same situation right now, albeit it's not an NCAA tournament game, but a lot is at stake for both of these teams. Penn State working hard to keep that unbeaten streak alive, but you know, she's sort of learning. Brittany Dogner on the other side.
For Dogner. Wow.
Yeah, 11 kills, which again, that's a solid night anyway, but hitting .625 against Penn State, that is impressive.
We talked about the 2 rookies and how their effectiveness, one way or the other, would determine the outcome.
And obviously the biggest difference is one is playing at home and one is playing on the road. And you can tell that Dogner's feeding off this energy, where I think it's got Hodge a little bit rattled.
Wisconsin 5 points from the match now here in game 3. Armato could not put it away. Dogner got the kill. and she crushes it. Point Penn State.
And I just can't even tell you what an impressive set that is by Glass. She's off the net. It looks like Harmato is not really an option, and she turns and sets that ball perfectly. And she had to get it to Harmato, knowing how much Hodge is struggling in this match.
Fawcett blocked. Simpson and Reineke send it back.
They finally get Fawcett back in the front row, which has been so good for Penn State in games 2 and 3, but look at Wisconsin. They were waiting for her.
Glass right back to Fawcett.
Again, just changing up where they're setting her the ball. Nice little change there. The last ball was set all the way outside. Obviously, Wisconsin had a perfect block. That time they set it inside, so Fawcett could hit it inside the blocker's hands, and it worked to perfection.
Chris Brown on to serve. Simpson, the back set to Reineke. Place out of the back. Glass goes back to Fawcett. Tools that block. Point Penn State.
Good scramble by Penn State. You know, this match right now is in the balance. They know they've got to get every point possible. Pete Waite, smart, kind of sensing that Penn State's making their push, calling that timeout, trying to cool them off.
Don't give them any hope. Don't send them to game 4. Wisconsin wants to close it out now. Log on to your new online source for all things college sports. It's ESPNU.com, the online gateway to all of ESPN's college sports content, including scores, columns, video and audio highlights, podcasts, and much more. Log on to ESPNU.com today. We are college sports. The Badgers so strong here at the Fieldhouse. 8-1 on the season. They've been a different team on the road.
Well, they have, and they're undefeated here in the Big Ten, so that's really important for them. They started out this year, they were 4-0 in the Big Ten. They won 2 on the road, they won 2 at home. It really looked like this was going to be one of those special seasons, but they've gone 3-3 since. They had to go on the road. They got some losses there, so it's been a little bit more difficult for them sort of after that fast start. But I'll tell you what, nothing makes you feel better than being here in your home building. This is a place where Penn State has struggled, although they've won the last 5 meetings between these teams. The last time they lost on the road was right here.
30 road wins in a row for Penn State, and Wisconsin trying to bring that streak to an end. 2 points away from the match. And what would be a stunning 3-0 sweep. Fawcett blocked. That sets up 4 match points for Wisconsin. That's your ball game. Wisconsin upset second-ranked Penn State, handing the Nittany Lions their first loss of the season.
And I think for the first time this year,
129, and Whitewater taking game 2, 32-30. For the Warhawks for a second consecutive game, Carly Polk led the way with 7 kills, the team at 15. Abby Schultz had 3 digs, team at 8, and then 1 service ace for Elise Carls, the team's only service ace of the game. Right-hand return made by Kim Bale, who led game 2 for the Titans with 4 kills out of the team's 15. Also, Samantha Schmidt and Rebecca Massaful with 10 digs apiece. The team had 34 digs in game 2, did the Titans, and then also Rebecca Massaful had 1 service ace, the only service ace for the Titans, that in game number 2. So far here in game number 3, ended up at a point apiece as Nelson serves the Massaful. Set up going right back to Rebecca Massaful off the antenna. That's going to give a point to the Warhawks, who go up 2-1. But so far, the previous 2 games needing more than 30 points to decide a winner. And as game 2 ended, game 3 starting with these 2 teams neck and neck. Knotted up at 2 apiece. It's the first time in the 3 games that we've had in this matchup in which these 2 teams have been close in the beginning. In game 1, it was Whitewater with the nice advantage right out of the gate. And in game 2, it was UW-Oshkosh who came out and built a sizable lead. 3-2, Titans up by 1. Lisa Beck serving. Beck right to Conley. Set up by Lazat. Return made by Schultz. Coming back to Massaful, partially blocked. Going out of bounds, it was blocked in the front row. Looked like Lazat got a hand on it. 4-2, the Titans back up by 2 with Beck serving. Lisa Beck to Conlin. Set up by Lazat. Schultz trying to push it over, but may have an illegal hit going against the Warhawks, which will allow the Titans to go up 5-2. And Beck again serving. This time knocked up in the air by Schultz. Big right hand by Polk, who has led the team in kills each of the first 2 games. In the friendly confines of the 4 corners. Ball hits wood and the point given to the Titans. They're on top 6-2. All of a sudden, after being knotted up in 2 apiece, the Titans taking control. Set up the Polk, partially blocked. Massaful stays on the Titan end, unable to save it was Leah Stump. 6-3. UW-Oshkosh by 3, but it's Abby Schultz serving for the Warhawks. We're coming off a 3-game sweep over UW River Falls on Saturday here in Whitewater. And for the Warhawks, it was their 17th sweep out of the 25 victories they have had. 7-3 Titans. They're coming off a 3-game sweep of their own over UW Stout at the Golf Sports Center on the campus of UW-Oshkosh on Saturday. Sorensen was able to block it. We got over the head of Leah Stump. A late break for the ball by Rebecca Massaful. 7-4. Titans on top by 3, but it's the Warhawks serving. Off the side out, Elise Carls, 1 service ace in game 2. Rosenbaum. Now the return by Tice. Coming back for Binding. UW-Oshkosh leading 8-4. Jackie Ray. Middle blocker joining the front row for UW-Oshkosh as Hartman serves. Right back the direction at first to Tice. And UW-Oshkosh lead enhances to 5 at 9-4. Hartman again. Go right back to Conlin. Set up by Lazat. Coming back for Sorensen, able to squeak it off the right hand of Jackie Ray. Warhawks get the side out. 9-5 the score. UW-Whitewater trailing by 4. In the air by Binding. She'll get the feed right back. Binding had a block to the front row by Tice. Return made though by Massaful. Fished out and knocked over by Schultz. Big right hand for Jackie Ray, but Nelson was able to hit it up in the air. Conlin after the bang off the net by Binding. Legal hit going against the Warhawks. And UW-Oshkosh on top by 5 at 10-5. Leah Stump serving. Set up Lazat to Nelson. Off the left hand. Kept alive by Binding. And Jackie Ray mistimed her jump. She was coming down. She hit it. 4 hits going against UW-Oshkosh. And the Warhawks back to within 4 at 10-6. Kelly Sorensen serving. Right to Schmidt, diving to keep it alive. Conlon. Lazat setting up Tice. Tice blocked it. Kept alive by Kim Vale. Nelson gets the feed. That from Lazat. Big right hand blocked on the return attempt by Biney. Kim Vale able to get it to hit the ground after it got by the diving Kate Lazat. 11-6 UW Oshkosh. And for the Titans, it's Biney serving to Conlon. Nice return made by Tice. Test to the back row, especially with Aaliyah Stump moving up. That left the whole back row wide open. And that's exactly where Sarah Tice was able to dump off the ball. 11-7. And Conlon, that ball taking a wicked curve. It was close to being an ace, but a wicked curve to the near side at the last possible moment. 12-7, Whitewater trailing the Titans by 5 in game 3. Certainly a critical game because whoever takes it certainly then has 2 chances to win 1 game to take the match. That's even up at a game apiece. 12-8 Warhawks down 4. Rebecca Nelson serving. Massaful. She'll get the feed on the setup. It was blocked by Polk. Also getting out by Lazat. Those two combine on the block. And Polk has been known for blocks. She was second in the league in the block per game statistic last year and certainly right up there. She's tied for 4th coming into this matchup. Off the top of the net went Leah Rosenbaum. 4 hits going against UW Oshkosh. They want to talk things over. You're watching the WIAC Women's College Volleyball Match of the Week on FSN North. Ryan Kleppe, part of the defensive line of the UW-Whitewater Warhawks, the 2nd-ranked team in the nation and the runners-up in the National Division III Championship game a season ago, losing to the powerhouse out of Ohio, Mount Union. As game 3 resumes in this WIAC Women's College Volleyball Match of the Week, the Titans get a side out, lead 13-10 after the Titans won game 1, 31-29, but it was the Warhawks taking game 2, 32-30. Look out, Sorensen moving out of the way and just in the nick of time as the ball went out of bounds. Just about to hit it too. 13-11, Warhawks staying close, but trail by 2. Abby Schultz. Return made by Biney. Biney going out of bounds. UW-Whitewater down by 1 at 13-12. Set up there by Massaful. Return by Rosenbaum. And the Titans back up by 2 at 14-12 off that partially blocked a ball in the front row for the Warhawks. Rebecca Massaful certainly has some big numbers in kills, assists, and digs per game for this Titan squad. Nice return by Polk. Ricocheted off the hand of Katie Biney. Tice along with Elise Carl subbing into the Warhawk 6. With UW-Whitewater down 1, now down 2. Elise Carl for the 2nd time in this matchup going long with one of her serves. Hartman serving for the Titans. 15-13 UW Oshkosh. The setup for Sorensen. Knocked in the air by Massaful. That's going to be an illegal hit going against UW Oshkosh in that front row. Looked like it was against Leah Stump, who was trying to set it up for a kill attempt. Warhawks down a point at 15-14. Off the Lazat serve. Biney into the net. Nelson and Tice were in the front row for a potential block attempt. And game 3 is knotted up at 15 apiece. Knocked up in the air by Biney. Return made by Ray. And so Jackie Ray the freshman, putting the Titans back up by 1 at 16-15 with Leah Stump serving. Stump to Schultz. Lazat tipped over by Tice. Set up for Tice again. Again by Lazat. Sent over by Binding. Lazat this time sets up Nelson right to Stump. Returned by Jackie Ray. Nelson again, a second rocket at it. Is able to blast it off for her points. You never give Rebecca Nelson 2 kill attempts in a row. Definitely will make you pay, and she made the Titans pay as the Warhawks tie game 3 up at 16 apiece. Right back at you though, says Katie Biney. It's the Titans who go back up by 1 at 17-16 with Binding dropping beyond the service line. Conlin set up by Lazat. Schultz. It's going to land for a Warhawk. A 17th point. All 3 games have been close down the stretch, and sure enough, game 3 down that same path, ended up at 17 apiece. Conlin, knocked in the air by Massaful. Partially blocked to the front wall, nice dive. Return made by Nelson, but now we have a whistle against the Warhawks. That against Nelson. And the Titans back up 1 at 18-17 with Samantha Schmidt serving. Right to Schultz. Lazat sets up Nelson. Partially blocked. Second effort into the net by Rebecca Massaful. And game 3 once again knotted up, this time at 18 apiece. Nelson. Coming near his side, Bale had it blocked. Pushed over by Lazat. Rosenbaum into the net. That's going to be 4 hits against the Titans. The Warhawks never touched the volleyball. 19-18 UW-Whitewater. Set up by Binding. Rosenbaum with the kill. Leah Rosenbaum, averaging just under 4 kills per game, has tied game 3 up at 19 apiece. And now Lisa Beck. Beck. Nelson set up by Lazat for Polk. Got it over. Rosenbaum blocked by Polk. Nice looking move by the very athletic Carly Polk. She puts UW-Whitewater on top 20-19. Schultz to Massaful. And the return made by Rosenbaum. And the Warhawks going head over heels, coming up empty. What is now a 20-20 game 3. Could this third game need more than 30 points? Massaful. Up in the air by Nelson. The return, Polk had it blocked. Rosenbaum set up coming near side for the return by Biney. Nelson. And Schmidt. Polk had it blocked in the front row by Leah Stump, and the Warhawks go back up by 1, 21-20. This truly has been a seesaw sequence to this third game. Up and down, up and down. Warhawks have kind of dictated the flow lately. They've had the lead, and then the Titans have played comeback to tie, and then Whitewater back up by a point, and Oshkosh ties. That's the way things have been going down to the last 10 points or so. Well, there goes that streak. Warhawks go up by 2 at 22-20. It's been a long time in this matchup since we've seen anybody up by 2 points in this game. Schmidt. Another block on that return attempt by Biney. 23-20 and a timeout being taken by UW-Oshkosh. You're watching the WIAC Women's College Volleyball Match of the Week on FSN North. Back in Whitewater, game number 3 in the best of 5. The winner shares the conference championship with idol UW-Eau Claire, who finished their conference play on Saturday with a sweep of UW-La Crosse. Into the net. The serve by Elise Carl. She's had a tough time beyond that service line during the last 3 or 4 chances. 23-21, Whitewater +2, but it's the Titans serving with Hartman. Ended up at a game apiece. That gets by the slipping and sliding Hartman. 24-21, Warhawks with Kate Lazat serving. Lazat, boy, tiptoed the line, but out of bounds. Sails the serve by Lazat. And the Titans back to within 2 at 24-22. But Leah Stump serving. The setup coming for Nelson with the left hand. Nelson got it over the head of Leah Stump, who stands at 5'9". 25-22, UW-Whitewater. And now, Kelly Sorensen to Massaful. It's set up for the return by Vale. Nelson had a block by Bunning as it goes out of bounds. UW-Whitewater going up 26-22, and again, Coach Schaefer hoping to find a secret weapon out of Ashley Sullivan. The second time he has gone with Sullivan in the last 2 games here down the stretch, with the Warhawks starting to pull away. Return by Vale. It is set up for Schultz. Vale again. Kept alive, but now they're gonna again blow that whistle against UW-Whitewater. A ball that nearly hit the ground on the return attempt by Conlin. Katie Bining into the Titan 6. She's serving with her squad down 3, 26-23 in this critical game 3. Puts you in perfect position to win the match. Battle of strength between Tyson Ray. Point Titans. Back to within 2 at 26-24. And now Katie Bining serving. Going to Conlin. Nelson right to Stump. Massaful kept alive. And the return made by Lazat after quickly getting back to her feet. Return made by Kim Vale. 26-25. UW-Whitewater. Their lead has dwindled down to a point. But surprise, surprise, that's the way this whole match has gone. Just ahead of the Warhawks because of 2 more overall match victories compared to UW-Whitewater, who also has 1 more loss. Into the net goes Schultz. We are knotted up at 26 here in game 3. And Katie Bining serving. Conlin, Lazat, Nelson, soft tapper. It gets the job done. Just out of the reach of the diving Kim Vale. UW-Whitewater on top, 27-26. And now Christina Conlin serving. Coach Boudreau bringing Carly Polk back out there. She was on the bench. Polk, another weapon in that front row as far as the kills are concerned. Right now, though, game 3 knotted up at 27, and it's Samantha Schmidt serving for the Titans. The setup for Nelson. Again coming back from Massaful. And the Titans have come back. They have taken a 1-point lead, 28-27. And Schmidt again. Schmidt to Conlin. Lazat to Schultz, soft tapper. Tie game at 28. And again, Rebecca Nelson now down the stretch. Right to Bining. It's gonna land. A point for UW-Whitewater. And again, Warhawk Nation on their feet. This serve for game 3. They're loud and proud in Whitewater. Rosenbaum quiets this crowd. And again, 30 points, not enough for these two schools. Knotted up at 29 apiece. And Lisa Beck trying to put the Titans back in front. Schultz. Boy, she hesitated at the last possible moment. Made a fist. And UW-Oshkosh, when play resumes, will be in position to serve for game number 3. Return made by Rosenbaum again, partially blocked. Lazant sets up Schultz. Kept alive by Biney. Rosenbaum off balance, but got it over. UW-Oshkosh, they take game 3. 31-29, the same score as they took game 1. 2-1 Titans. You're watching the WIAC Women's College Volleyball Match of the Week on FSN North.
Since its early days as a facility for training teachers, UW-Whitewater has grown into a modern, world-class university. Our College of Business and Economics is one of the largest in the state and is nationally known. Our College of Education produces more first-year teachers than any other university in the state. Our athletic programs consistently earn national rankings and enjoy some of the finest facilities in Division III. And our cultural events attract thousands of people annually. U.S. News & World Report has ranked UW-Whitewater as one of the top regional public universities in the Midwest. New state-of-the-art buildings will open soon. At UW-Whitewater, we take pride in our regional leadership, national presence, and global vision. Our students graduate with exceptional real-life experience and a passion for success. The University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Stay close, go far.
A ski boat, and we're planning on replacing it, and decided why not make a donation to a good cause like Rawhide.
It was mutually beneficial. We had a boat that we needed to do something with, and Rawhide was happy to accept it, and we were provided a nice tax deduction.
It was more than we had expected, and we know that we supported a good cause. It was a great experience all the way around.
If you're interested in supporting Rawhide, you can contact them at 1-800-RAWHIDE or rawhide.org.
To 1. Currently, the Titans trying to pull off what would be an upset nonetheless, considering UW-Whitewater's recent success over the last couple of years in the WIAC. Trying to complete what they have started, trying to beat the Warhawks for a second consecutive meeting in this building. Only the 7th time in 31 tries have the Warhawks lost a game 3, and you saw it moments ago. Nelson and the Warhawks, a must-win game 4 to move this match to a decisive game 5. And Nelson gets the Warhawks to a 1-0 beginning. This is only the 12th, 4th game the Warhawks have had here in 2006. Warhawks leading 2-0. Well, in game number 3, it was Rebecca Nelson. She led the way with 4 kills. The Warhawks had 14. Carly Polk had 3 digs for a squad that had 8, and then Rebecca Nelson had 1 service ace, the only service ace the Warhawks had. Samantha Schmidt serving for the Titans. They're down 2-1. 11 kills recorded. Make that 6 kills recorded by Leah Rosenbaum in game 3 out of the 16 kills the Titans had. Both Leah Stump along with Rosenbaum had 6 digs apiece for the Titans, who had 31, and then 1 service ace, the only service ace recorded by the Titans belonging to Lisa Beck. 3-1 UW-Whitewater. Make that 4-1 Warhawks with Schultz serving. They have scored back-to-back points. Schultz got it over, but Massiful was short on the return, unable to save it, was Leah Rosenbaum. 5-1 UW-Whitewater, but again, remember, the way this match has gone, typically the team that gets off to the quick start and takes a big advantage, not the team that's ahead when all is said and done. Well, UW-Whitewater not trying to fool around here in Game 4. They know the importance of this game to keep their conference championship hopes alive, trying to claim at least a piece of their 3rd consecutive conference title, 6th in the last 7 years, and their 12th overall in program history. Left-hand return by Sorensen. Field, Nelson up in the air. Conlon makes the return. Another setup going the direction of Rosenbaum. Polk went long and went out of bounds. And UW Oshkosh is back to within 4 at 6-2. And Lisa Beck, who we just told you had the only service ace in Game 3 for the Titans, drops beyond the service line. Right to Schultz. Polk with the kill. She led the team in kills in 2 out of the first 3 games, but it was her teammate Rebecca Nelson who led the way in kills in Game 3. Here it's 7-2. UW-Whitewater. Elise Carls with the right hand off the serve. And a couple of bad serves over the last 2 games, but able to get back on track here in Game 4. Somehow the Warhawks make a return with Nelson battling on the ground. Schmidt sets up Rosenbaum. That's going to be an illegal hit. Check that, it's going to be against Leah Stump. Nonetheless, it's against the Titans as the Warhawks go up 8-2. And UW Oshkosh wants to talk things over. You're watching the WIAC Women's College Volleyball Match of the Week on FSN North. Back in Whitewater, Game 4 sees the Warhawks on top of UW Oshkosh. 8-2 puts the Titans on top, 2-1. This is a must-win situation for the Warhawks to keep their conference championship hopes alive. 9-2 Warhawks. Into the net goes Elise Carl's serve. As Christina Conlon back into the Warhawks 6. It's going to be Rebecca Massaful serving. Massaful, right to Nelson. Set up for the squeak by Tice. That gets head coach Stacy Boudreau on her feet, clapping and applauding the effort of her team here to get this 4th game started. They open up a 10-3 advantage. This by far is the best start for either one of these teams to open up a game so far tonight. UW Oshkosh back to within 6 at 10-4. Laura Hartman serving for the Titans. Hartman to Schultz. Set up by Lazar, right to Tice. It is kept alive for the send over by Stump. Scramble by Nelson. Nice return made by Tice. And not much brewing there after Massaful set up Leah Stump, who went backwards with her setup attempts. 11-4, Warhawks by 7. Sorensen again. Into the net. 11-5, Oshkosh down 6. Leah Stump, as Kim Vale joins the front row, she subs into the Titan 6. Set up for Tice. Vale popped on over by Jackie Ray, also in that front row now, but it's Nelson with the left-handed kill. UW-Whitewater opening up a 12-5 advantage. And Christina Conlon serving now for the Warhawks. They're trying to win a game within 30 points. So far, all 3 games have exceeded 30 points. Here in this battle for the conference title. 13-5, Warhawks by 8. It's Conlon again. Return made by Vale. Conlon up in the air. Enough hang time. Nelson pops it out of bounds. The left-handed kill. It is now 13-6. Warhawks up by 7. Katie Binding. Set up for Schultz. Kept it alive off the block by Vale. Knocked over by Nelson. It is set up for the return right to the fist of Lazat. Conlin got to get it over, and Schultz does just that with the left hand. Vale blocked in front. Polk got a hand on it. Massaful kept alive by Conlin. Massaful make that Jackie Ray this time. Massaful, and that ball's going to land on the Warhawks side. The point goes to UW-Oshkosh. They trail 13-7. Katie Binding serving. Off the setup by Lazat, right back to Nelson with the left hand. Polk on the second try at a Warhawk kill. 14-7, UW-Whitewater. Rebecca Nelson. Schmidt. Set up for Massaful. Out of bounds. Massaful's return. Warhawks go up by 8 once again at 15-7. This matching their biggest lead of the game. Off the setup for Jackie Ray. Somehow knocked over by Nelson. And now the Warhawks enjoying their biggest lead of this game. It's up to 9 at 16-7. Rebecca Nelson. And the Warhawks halfway to forcing a little more than halfway to forcing a decisive game 5, which would be played up to 15. Block in the front row by Polk on the return by Kim Vale. Got some help, did Polk by Abby Schultz. 17-7, Warhawks up by 10. They set up for Massaful. Right to Schultz. Pushed over by Lazat. Massaful again. Got it by Sorensen. Was the ball touched? It was by Sorensen after the Warhawks were hoping for an out-of-bounds call. To no avail. 17-8 UW-Whitewater with Samantha Schmidt serving. Schmidt to Schultz. Set up for Polk with the kill again. Doing the split was Samantha Schmidt, who was unable to get a hand on the kill by Polk. She is having some fun out there tonight against the Titans. 18-8 Warhawks. Set up this time to Vale. Off balance return. May have hit that antenna. Warhawks up 19-8 with Schultz serving. Some changes being made for the Titans in that front row. For the first time in this matchup, Caitlin Barra, sporting jersey 1, is out there in the front. A 5'6" freshman and former student of New Berlin West High School. Massaful to Schultz. Return by Lazat. On the scramble, kept alive, pushed over by Barra. Right to Conlin. Polk again with the kill. Again, Polk is successful. She is trying to fire up the troops. A 13-point Warhawk advantage. Abby Schultz, Massaful. Knocked over by Lazat. Barra, illegal hit. All UW-Whitewater. You're watching the WIAC Women's College Volleyball Match of the Week on FSN North. Back in Whitewater. Well, the first 3 games decided by 2 points apiece, but here in game 4, UW-Whitewater has come out knowing that they have to win this game to force a decisive game 5, and certainly playing like this is a must-win situation, opening up a 21-8 advantage. Knocked in the air by Nelson. They set up for Polk again, and Polk this time rejected by the combination of Rebecca Massaful and Leah Rosenbaum. Polk had been so successful too in this 4th game in kills. Been energizing her teammates around her and getting them fired up. Back to Conlin. Big return, Sorensen. Point UW-Whitewater. They go up 22-9. In fact, we mentioned how close each of the first 3 games were. All 3 of those games exceeded the 30 points total necessary to win a game. One game was decided with 32 points. The other 2 decided with 31 points. Those 31-point games both won by UW-Oshkosh. Here it's 23-9 Warhawks. Massive full. Vara got it over. Schultz keeps it alive, and the return made by Nelson. Great athleticism by the Warhawks. Massafull with the kill. 23-10 UW-Whitewater. And again, Rebecca Massafull on the serve. Running jump start, got it over. Conlon nearly off balance. Schultz hits it over. Vara sets it up, blocked. Rosenbaum, and unable to save it was Abby Schultz. Now a 23-11 Warhawk advantage. And out of bounds, Sales, Massafull serve. Warhawks back up 13 at 24-11. Kate Lazat on the Warhawk serve. Trying to hook up with Schmidt. It squeaks over the top of the net and out of the Titans side for a Warhawk 25th point. Warhawks are 5 points away from a decisive Game 5, but Lazat served into the nets. 25-12 UW-Whitewater. A mighty hill to climb for UW-Oshkosh. They have dug themselves a big hole. And Tice continues to make it even deeper. That hole, that is. It's now 26-12 UW-Whitewater. And Kelly Sorensen again. Massafull. Return by Vara. Return made by Tice. Partial block by Tice on the return by Binding. It gets the Titans a point. But they still trail by 13 at 26-13. As Rosenbaum back into the Titan 6, replacing Beck. Check that, make that Jackie Ray out there in that front row. Rosenbaum still on the bench. Nice save attempt, but unsuccessful was Lazat. Off the return by Binding again. It's 26-14, Titans down 12. Off Caitlin Vara's serve. Return by Schultz. Conlon, Lazat setting up Nelson with the left hand. That ball may have been sailing out of bounds, but Schmidt hit it for the Titans, and the point goes to the Warhawks. Up 27-14, and Polk back out there in the front row. Christina Conlon. Vara. Knocked over by Vale. Nelson with the left hand. Turn made by Massafull into the net. And the Warhawks up by 14, a commanding advantage, leading 28-14. Right now, you better believe that entire Warhawk sideline is asking themselves, where has this been all match long? Turn made by Ray. Polk. 29-14. UW-Whitewater, and guess what? Warhawk Nation is on their feet again. Polk providing the block on Vara, and we go to a decisive winner-takes-all, game number 5. 2 games apiece. You're watching the WIAC Women's College Volleyball Match of the Week on FSN North.
Since its early days as a facility for training teachers, UW-Whitewater has grown into a modern, world-class university. Our College of Business and Economics is one of the largest in the state and is nationally known. Our College of Education produces more first-year teachers than any other university in the state. Our athletic programs consistently earn national rankings and enjoy some of the finest facilities in Division III. And our cultural events attract thousands of people annually. U.S. News & World Report has ranked UW-Whitewater as one of the top regional public universities in the Midwest. New state-of-the-art buildings will open soon. At UW-Whitewater, we take pride in our regional leadership, national presence, and global vision. Our students graduate with exceptional real-life experience and a passion for success. The University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Stay close, go far.
I'm thinking of a number between 450 and 850. Do you know what it is? It's my credit score, and it happens to be 720. The higher my credit score, the better chance I have of saving a lot of money. Do you know your credit score? Do you know what's in your credit report? You can find out right now at freecreditreport.com. You can even print it out if you want to. How much easier could it get? Log on to freecreditreport.com. That's freecreditreport.com.
Free Credit Report offer applies with enrollment in Triple Advantage.
Wisconsin's leader in Badger sports is FSN North. Tomorrow at 8, Badger volleyball hits the court for a battle with Ohio State, only on FSN North.
Water, a look of concern by one of the many UW-Oshkosh fans making the trip here to UW-Whitewater. It's decisive Game 5 between two out of the top teams in the top 25. The winner will share the 2006 WIAC Conference Championship with UW-Eau Claire. Remember, Game 5 is played up to 15. Must win by 2. And the Warhawks forcing this decisive Game 5 by taking Game 4, 30-14. Every mistake critical now. Conlon with the return. Vale right to Sorensen. Kim Vale with the kill. It's 1-0 UW-Oshkosh. They are trying to lock up their second consecutive co-conference championship after finishing as co-conference champs last year with UW-Whitewater. Ultimately trying to win their 8th ever conference title. Taking home the conference championship in 01, 95, 94, 91, 90, and way back in 1982. So now that Kim Vale has tied the shoe, back to action with Polk being blocked. Schultz on the send over. Rosenbaum knocked down over by Lazat. The Titan bench was yelling for a 4-hit against the Warhawks to no avail, and this 5th game is tied at 1 apiece. Rebecca Nelson serving. The setter for Rosenbaum. It lands in front of Sorensen. 2-1 Titans. As talked about, Whitewater trying to get a piece of their 3rd consecutive conference title. Their 6th in the last 7 years, and their 13th in program history. And somebody will get it when they reach 15 here in this 5th game. Schultz on the send over. Off the antenna. And the point goes to the Titans. 3-1 UW-Oshkosh. Trying to rally after losing by 16 in that 4th game. That by far is the biggest margin of defeat for either one of these teams to suffer, and Oshkosh certainly suffered in that 4th game, but not suffering anymore. 4-1 Titans. Lisa Beck. Right to Schultz. She'll send it over. Warhawks need a much needed side out, not gonna get it there. Warhawks timeout, Oshkosh a 1/3 of the way to victory. You're watching the WIAC Women's College Volleyball Match of the Week on FSN North. Back in Whitewater, get a glimpse of Brian Schaefer. He was the coach of the year in the WIAC and the NCAA Division III Midwest region. A coach of the year last season for a Titan team that went beyond expectations. Right now his team's on top, 5-1 and decisive. Winner takes all, game 5 for a share of the conference championship. Warhawks get a much needed side out. No, last year's Oshkosh team, though, went 36-5 overall, 7-1 in the conference. They finished as co-conference champs after being predicted to take 7th out of 9 teams, and they even finished 17th in the nation. Off a Warhawk on the return by Massaful. 6-2, UW-Oshkosh. We played a 15 in this 5th game. Massaful. Right to Nelson. Polk. Warhawks down 3. Elise Carls along with Ty subbing into the Warhawks 6. 5'7" freshman serving. Her squad down 3. Schmidt off the net point, UW-Whitewater. They got by the slipping and falling Katie Bining. 6-4, UW-Oshkosh hanging on to a 2-point advantage. Warhawks trying to play comeback. They're getting close, but Rosenbaum trying to change that. Nelson on the other end, right to Schmidt. Rosenbaum again. Elise Carl's knocking it up in the air. Tice to Schmidt. Quick setup. Return. Warhawks points after Bining was blocked. It's a 6-5, game 5, Oshkosh by 1. By Schultz, the return by Bining. And the Titans lead 7-5, nearly halfway to a game 5 victory. Serving is Hartman. Right to Schultz on the setup by Lazat. Right hand by Tice. They got by Massaful. 7-6. Warhawks are down a point with the opportunity to tie on this serve by Kate Lazat. Setup goes to Ray, blocked. Ball is still alive, but the point's going to UW-Whitewater. Off that save attempt that went awry for Massaful. 7-7, up to 15 in game 5. Coming back for Bining. It's zipped on by the head of Christina Conlin. And now the two teams will switch sides halfway through this 5th game. That's how they do it. They're in game 5. 8-7 your score. It is UW-Oshkosh on top and serving. Now that both teams have gone ring around the net, get ready to serve for UW-Oshkosh is Leah Stump. Stump into the net. Game 5 is knotted up at 8 apiece. And again, some of the Warhawk students on their feet. They've had a lot to cheer about all night long. This game has lived up to the hype. Ray, right to Nelson. Schultz, point UW-Whitewater. Timeout, UW-Oshkosh. You're watching the WIAC Women's College Volleyball Match of the Week on FSN North.
From the gridiron to the hardwood, on the links or on the track, on the diamond or on the ice, go to prepfilms.com. It's easy. You can order your DVD online. At prepfilms.com, you make the memories. We'll make them last forever.
Hi, I'm Matt LePay for Capital Kia. Now at Capital, we'll help you make every mile count. Buy a new Kia for $99 down or $99 a month. At Capital, you can get a new car with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty at a used car price, $99. $99 down or $99 a month. Credit problems? Come to Capital. We'll get you in the game. Call 800-642-7885 to learn more about our $99 offer. Capital Kia.
For more than 50 years, Blaine's Farm & Fleet has provided quality products at everyday low prices. The brands you trust, like Levi's, Lee, DeWalt, Milwaukee, Fram, Cub Cadet, and Scotts, to name just a few. Learn more about our departments, products, and services. Simply go to I Want More on Charter Channel 999. At Blaine's, we have everything you need all in one store. Visit the shopping category in I Want More on Charter Channel 999 to discover the quality, value, and selection you'll find only at Blaine's Farm & Fleet.
Winner takes all and a piece of the 2006 WIAC Conference Championship. On the mishandle by Massaful, the Warhawks have rallied to open up a 2-point Game 5 lead at 10-8. Massaful, quick setup, right hand return attempt by Binding. Ray on back to Conlon. Pushed on over by Tice. Block attempt by Schultz. Goes to Conlon. Set up by Lazat. Nelson, big block attempt. Unsuccessful was Kim Vale on the block attempt. She got a piece of it, but went out of bounds with it. UW-Whitewater, the fan base on their feet. 11-8, the Warhawks have rallied to open up a 3-point advantage, 4 points away from winning this matchup, and not only being co-conference champs, but the #1 seed in the 2006 WIAC tournament, thanks to a big victory over UW-Eau Claire a few weeks ago. Warhawks came into this season predicted to finish first out of 9 teams, third consecutive year they predicted to take that #1 spot, and, well, not trying to disappoint. They're trying to live up to the expectations. And this was a 5th game that saw UW-Oshkosh get off to a quick start. Even on top at 1.6-2. Serving for the Warhawks is Sorensen, right back to Schmitz. Fans are on their feet. They've been on their feet since this rally began. Pushed over by Stump. Into the net goes Tice. This place was ready to erupt. 11-9 the score. UW-Whitewater +2. Binding serving away. Return Nelson. Out of bounds, and the Titans are back to within 1. 11-10 the score. It's Katie Binding again, the reigning all-conference honorable mention. Lazat, Schultz off tapper. 12-10 UW-Whitewater. Polk back into the Warhawks 6. Big presence in the front row. As Christina Conlon serving. Right to Schmidt. Pushed over by Vale. And the Titans not done. Back to within 1, 12-11. And now Samantha Schmidt on the serve. Off a quick setup, Schultz with the kill. 13-11, Warhawks. And Rebecca Nelson behind the service line. Rosenblum, did it hit the ground? It did, according to the official. That shocked the entire Warhawk bench. Oshkosh back to within 1 at 13-12. It's Lisa Beck serving. Was that Schultz? Another successful kill. Schultz serving not only for the match, but the 2006 Conference Championship. Saved by Schmidt. Schultz pushed over, kept alive by Binding. Polk into the net. Polk. 4 hits against UW-Whitewater. Oshkosh not done. Back to within 1. 14-13. Massaful is serving. Polk out of bounds. We are going to 16. Tied at 14. Massaful out of bounds. And once again, UW-Whitewater is serving for the game, the match, and the conference championship. Elise Carls. It's gonna land out of the reach of Nelson. We go to 17, tied at 15. And Laura Hartman. Right to Conlon. He's set up for the send over. It's successful by Tice. 3rd time now in this game, the Warhawks have the opportunity to slam the door shut on the Titans. Lazat serving. Out of bounds on the block. The Titans with reason to celebrate. They keep this decisive 5th game alive, tied at 16. We play to 18. Lazat. Nelson. Left hand. That's in. And now for the first time in this 5th game, UW-Oshkosh is serving not only for the game, but the match and a co-conference championship. Leah Stump. Knock over, that by Tice. Vale. The conference championship is going back to UW-Oshkosh. Their 2nd consecutive conference title and the 8th in program history. UW Oshkosh takes the decisive game 5, 18-16. Back with more in Whitewater. You're watching the WIAC Women's College Volleyball Match of the Week on FSN North.
Since its early days as a facility for training teachers, UW-Whitewater has grown into a modern world-class